3, 2, 1.
What is going on, Southwest and San Antonio? This is Scoreboard, your number one stop shop for all things Southwest ISD. I am Brandon Medina. I am here, as always, with your athletic director, Mr. Peter Wagner, and we are ready for another great week, another big show, talking about a lot of big games coming up for the weekend to get you set up for a great slate of fun athletics. Make sure you go support all of that. You can get tickets on, is it GoFan?
GoFan,
and come support all of Southwest ISD. But Mr. Peter Wagner, let's start it up, man. How are we doing today?
Doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm trying to bring the energy. Energy's up.
Yeah.
We're trying to get going.
I mean, it's only week 3, dude. You're gonna have to let's go.
Hey,
it's kind of like, I know you don't run, but it's kind of like that beginning. It's the warm up. Yeah, this is the warm up still. We're still rolling, but
Tell you
it's
what,
getting a little harder.
I'm gonna gas out. I'll gas out later. But right now I'm the start of the baton. You'll take it next couple weeks. There we
let's go.
All right. So looking at athletics, we have a few undefeated teams, right, to talk about. We have a few teams coming off of close losses, but looking to get back on track this week, and so that's going to be exciting. Where do you want to start, though? Do we want to start?
Let's start with tennis, because tennis is the
undefeated.
They're the standard bearer right now.
They are. They sure are.
SWISD tennis is in a good spot. So we have 2 undefeated teams. This week is the kind of a week where they're both very heavily favored. You got the Dragons taking on Harlandale, and then at home, and then you got the Legacy Titans are taking on South San at home as well. I expect the Dragons to get a little bit of a test, and Legacy is going to be more about how fast they get to 11 and stuff. I'm guessing that it's going to go pretty quick, because I don't know that South San has a full team. Like we said in the past, the big tests for Southwest and Legacy are going to be MacArthur, and then they both beaten McCollum already, and so those will be the big tests, and so those are coming. So this week is keep getting better, keep building your depth, keep working on those things that you need to be ready to roll with. So good luck to tennis. Great job by Coach Arceo and Coach Gomez and Coach Ledian and Coach Beltran and those guys and all of their kids who get it done on the court, but they're also a group of, both teams are a group that get it done in the classroom and across the board. So kudos to them and everything they're doing and stuff. So I'm just gonna move on to the next one, cross country.
Yeah, let's go.
So big thing in cross country is we were supposed to host the SWISD cross country meet. And in true fashion, it rains and continues to rain on the week that we're going to do that. And as we all know,
and down there it does not.
It does not do well. So we had to cancel this week's cross country meet, but we did it early enough so that all those teams and our teams could find another meet, so those kids could run.
Good.
So our cross country teams, both Legacy and Southwest, are going to San Marcos this week to compete on a Friday night. That'll be cool. And so good luck to them. Still kicking. Last week they went to Medina Valley, had a good race, and I think the big story there is that the Legacy Titan team, their 2 top runners, really they made a move. You know what I mean, in terms of they had a lot of PRs and stuff like that between both schools, but Alicia and Isabella both. They both moved up. You know what I mean?
Something's in the water over there at Legacy.
It's gonna be an interesting. Southside's got one of the top runners, and then you got Alston Walsh at Southwest, and then you got Alicia and Isabella over at Legacy, and so it's gonna be an interesting district race. And so excited about those guys. You still got Roman and Seth, who are at Southwest, who are really doing well. It's going to be more a matter of their depth in both of the cross country groups as to their. I know that Legacy, Coach Arguello and them are really working on building that depth with the boys, younger group and things like that. But looking forward to some great things as they keep marching towards district, and then it's going to be an interesting. I think it's going to be an interesting race on the southwest with the boys and the girls between them and MacArthur, and then on the girls' side, it's going to be probably a 4-team race between Legacy, Southwest, MacArthur, and Southside. And so that'll be very interesting.
Is the MacArthur conversation, because obviously we don't have Medina Valley anymore in our district, and so is MacArthur one of those teams where the reason we're talking about them is because there's so much of we don't know, we haven't seen it yet, or is it more of like we've heard things but we haven't?
Yeah, I think
really
it's
competed?
a little bit of both.
So because I know we keep talking about them, we're like every sport we're like, hey, we gotta watch out for MacArthur, and I don't know, is it because we don't know what they bring to the table, or we're assuming they're going to be...
No, I mean, history.
Okay.
When we saw them last year in bi-district where they were
Really good.
pretty good
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So we were trying to kind of avoid... You want to be in the top 2 so that you pretty much you're going to be a heavy favorite going into that first round of the playoffs. And so MacArthur did well in tennis. MacArthur did well in volleyball. MacArthur did really well. They beat Legacy in the first round by about 20-something points in the first round of the playoffs, and in basketball, in girls basketball, their boys basketball team's not bad.
They're just a well-rounded.
They're pretty well-rounded.
Yeah.
They would compete in our district in football.
Sure.
They'd probably be a playoff team in our district in football, but they're not like Alamo Heights or somebody that's just gonna like tear through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're somebody that is that they're probably comparable to Medina Valley, not in the running sports as much. Track will be with MacArthur. Track it won't be the army of Medina Valley versus the rest of us.
Yeah. And
stuff like that. It's going to be a true interesting race. Baseball, they're good. They're perennially good in baseball.
Always the most competitive of the district.
Softball, they're very good and stuff. So they're well rounded and they're in the right spike. If you throw them in there, it's kind of like Jay right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jay volleyball team's doing well. Jay volleyball team didn't do so great in 6A. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. And so looking forward to a lot of that. And it's good to have. It's always fun when it's somebody that may be just a little bit above you, but you can get them. You know what I mean? Or you're even. That makes for fun competition.
Gotcha.
That's what it's about. You know what I mean? If you don't want to go and play, it's not always very fun to just go out there every day and play your little sister or your little brother or something like that, and where you should win by 50. You know what I mean? It's good to like get up there and
doesn't make anybody better.
You got it. No, you got to get up there and you're gonna have to play.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to execute, and you're gonna have to be ready, and you're gonna have to be able to deal with adversity and those types of things. And that's what MacArthur brings to the table.
Sure, that's awesome. I will say, when it comes to dealing with adversity and executing, I would love to know about kind of your initial reactions just 3 weeks into kind of our middle school athletics too. I know I want to give them some love too. We don't have to go too deep, but just kind of what you're hearing. Are the coaches excited on the high school level? I know we have softball and baseball finally at the middle school level. Football is already getting going as well, and it has been getting going. But looking at, I guess, the first 3 weeks of school, what are you hearing as far as the excitement for upcoming freshmen and the next generation?
I think that there's a lot of excitement around volleyball because of our CYDI program and our tots and the things that we do.
Sure.
To build that program and stuff like that. And so I think there's a lot of hype around volleyball and everything, and I think that's great. Our numbers are good, those types of things. Football, Scobie looks pretty good. I watched the Scobie and McNair play. They just scrimmaged on a Tuesday night and stuff, and there's a lot of good things there. McNair completed a nice little pass to score with their 7th graders. Scobie always has talent, and that's nothing new. You know what I mean? And they all have talent, but excited about that. I think that Resnick's is going to be interesting. McAuliffe's numbers are up and things like that. I think that football is getting a little harder because of the heat.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see kids struggle with hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's a continually having to like let's go. and stuff like that. But I'm excited about what it's bringing. I was talking to Coach Franco yesterday, and he was talking about this freshman class, last year's 8th grade group. It might be this year's class. You know what I mean? Senior class. So that next group where you're like, let's go. This is going to be the next group of just total talent.
Just
you know what I mean?
players, yeah.
Ballers. And so I think the middle school set is going to be interesting, but they're literally just getting going. So
Sure.
volleyball's first game is tonight.
Nice.
And then we just scrimmaged on Tuesday with football.
Yep.
We were going to have our first cross country meet this weekend, but obviously we're not running a swim meet. So
Right. That's
so
exciting nonetheless.
We're ready to roll there.
It really is exciting. I think it's unique for our district to be able to offer those opportunities that maybe
Absolutely.
others don't. And so with that, one thing that has been consistent is Southwest ISD is a volleyball school. And so as a volleyball district, right, across the globe, across the city, man, Mr. Worldwide.
Wow.
All right. Well, I'll tell you
We
what,
are on it.
We are on it. But I will say, looking to get things back on track this week. So talk to us about kind of volleyball. Like you said, dealing with adversity, dealing with, the challenges that come with the long season, and then coming back and getting those things straightened out. What can we look forward to?
Tuesday was 2 big games that we did not come out on top on at either school. Southwest took on Jay in their district opener. Great turnout by the Dungeons Warriors Spirit event. Great job by student athletes to really recognize and cheer on the Lady Dragons against Jay. I think that there was that first that there's I think they were dealing with some like we're supposed to win this game. Jay's pretty good, and I think that if they play again, it's going to be interesting. But that was like probably the 2 top teams in the district going at it right off the bat, and it was a really good game. Southwest seemed like they were always kind of fighting back and everything, but overcoming some things. What I realized, but I didn't really realize going into that day was how many freshmen we have playing.
Yeah.
Things like that. Like you have your Addison Bartlett's and your Alyssa Kurds and Alana Medinas and things like that, but you also have about half the Scobie 8th grade team that won the championship is playing varsity this year. And stuff like that. And so there's still some growing, there's some getting together, and then there's some trying to figure some of those things out. So I think that the Southwest volleyball team now is going to be a different team in about 3 weeks.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But they got a Friday night. They got a game on this Friday. Legacy had a barn burner. Lost in 4, but every game they were right there. Had a lead a couple of times, things like that. So lost to South Sound by 4. South Sound's 2-0 in the district right now. Legacy's 1-1. So they're both in it, and they're in every game. So it'll be very interesting to see how both of them deal with a little bit of adversity this week, and then and keep coming.
Yeah.
But I think they're both very, very capable playoff teams, and that's pretty neat. In a 9-team district, making the playoffs is being in that top half is a good thing. But I think both of them can compete, and I think both of them will be right there at the end.
What does it say, Coach, about middle school athletics, separate camps and select teams on the side? What I've noticed is we've been doing this show now for 3 years, right? The first year, I feel like pretty consistently across the board, most of the teams were heavy with seniors and juniors. Over the past 2 years, so last year and this year, it seems like we're getting younger. It seems like a lot. I mean, you look at Southwest softball last year, had only like 2 seniors. You look at, you're talking about volleyball this year, Legacy football this year, right? You're starting a sophomore quarterback at Legacy. What does it say about the younger underclassmen having to take on leadership roles so early on that we've been seeing recently in the district? What does that do for? I
think
the
the quality of coaching at the middle school is good. And getting and better and things like that. So they're coming in a little bit more prepared.
Sure.
I think that our emphasis on, the teams that win are the teams that have kids that are extremely committed to
that sport.
Well, not just to that, but they might be committed to that sport, but they play others as well. So there's some I'm committed to this, but I'm well-rounded to help my athleticism as well. And so when you get that committed, it's just touches, it's reps. It's all about reps. And so I think that especially at the volleyball level, I was talking to Coach Cortez, and this is one of the first years where not just playing club is enough to make the team. Every single one of the people and the kids that tried out play club now. And we had 75 kids try out for volleyball at Southwest High School. And probably most, if not all of the kids at Legacy play club. And it's not saying you have to play club to make the team, because that's really not fair.
No, sure.
But it's also a competition. And so
it's also reps,
and
right?
so
Like you said.
and it's just a matter of reps. And so what we're trying to do, because we understand that, is that it also creates an unfair playing field for, it's not equitable at the end of the day. And that's why it's so important that we can, a long time ago with Dr. Verstuff and I, we created the Southwest Sports Initiative so that we can really leverage our facilities to bring in these clubs and stuff like that. So we're doing that with basketball. In basketball, we have 3 clubs that operate out of our gyms now that our kids can play. And then we're doing the same thing with volleyball with CYDI and stuff like that. Still working on trying to figure out soccer and everything. But we know that kids have to not necessarily play year round. We don't want them to burn out necessarily,
Sure.
but we do want them to but they do need to get the reps, you know what I mean? And so our kids are playing, like softball right now is playing fall ball. They're playing together and stuff. But then they all got their club teams and stuff like that. And it is the way of the world.
Yeah.
And you either adapt and overcome, or you get left behind. And so we're trying to do our best for our families who can't always
adapt.
To help adapt so that their kids and our kids can all be successful in these things.
So, we always save it for last, and it's a big.
Don't forget about water polo.
We do got water polo this weekend.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, the Dragons played Stevens last night.
Yep.
And it was really two good games. In the last couple of years, Stevens has really kind of put it on us to win the district championship. Sure. The boys at one point was like 8-5. I think it ended up somewhere in the 12-7 range, something like that. But the girls were working to score the tying goal in the last minutes, and they were getting beat by 10 goals last year. They came back and lost 12-11 yesterday.
Wow.
And stuff. And then you got the Titans, got games this week. So excited about them getting going. They're boys. I think you have two. I feel like we can replicate what we did last year, and all 4 of our teams make the playoffs. And then, depending on where they end up, have a shot in the playoffs a little bit when they go to take on Johnson and Churchill and Reagan and those guys. And so very excited about the water polo group.
Yeah, we should be.
Keep it up, guys, and everything. I know Brandon's ready to talk about football and stuff, but you got it. They're all doing a great job.
They are.
And shout out to our water polo and aquatics parents, because they came together in our 2 tournaments that we hosted from teams all over the state and concessions, and just really helping out and really building that program. So really a group effort. So thanks to all of them.
Yeah, in a short time. You're talking about a competitive program immediate. Yeah. We talked about it a little bit last year too, where I don't think we've seen this success this fast in any other sport that we've talked about before.
Yeah. If you build it, they will come.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, we are building a new press box.
We are building a new press box. Kudos, sir.
Come on. You gotta find ways.
Love it.
You know what I mean?
And due to the building of the new press box, we have a game at Legacy High School for the Southwest Dragons.
That's right. That's right. So Southwest Dragons and a Legacy Titans.
7:30 start time.
Both coming off big games that they were able to win, move forward in. How important is it as a coach to start off the season with the win?
It just builds belief.
Confidence in players.
I think if you talk to both coaches, they weren't overly excited about their execution. I think talking to Coach Franco, they were probably, you look at the way that they scored, they kind of got to us inside a little bit, Harlandale, to get their field goal, and then we kicked it off and we muffed the field goal and gave it to them on the 1-yard line. So you execute right there. That game is probably 52-59 to nothing versus 35-10. If the Dragons even, talking to Coach Franco, they probably played a C- C+ game and won 35-10. You know what I mean? Of course, Tyson Dean had a great game.
Great game.
And really
both games rushing. They did really well.
Yep. And then I think they're going to look to get Z the ball a little bit more this week.
Sure.
And stuff. But they have so many weapons. I mean, from Charles Stemley, Dorian Moxley, and and then you got Tyson, Z, you got John Mills. You know what I mean? And then there's so many, and we're still missing some. You know what I mean? I mean, like Coach Franco and I spent probably 15 minutes yesterday talking about Noah Manzano at fullback, you know what I mean, and Tristan Quintanilla working in the middle at linebacker, and just all of those guys. They're talented beyond just Tyson and Z.
Yeah.
But I mean, they got 2 AP All-State players, and so that's pretty neat too. And so really looking forward to when they put it all together. And I think this week against Lockhart's not quite as good as they have been with the
past
in the past in terms of athleticism. But they got some big old country fed linemen, man, that could be a little bit of our Achilles heel. And so looking forward to how we respond to that part. Sure. But I think that in talking to Coach Franco, they have the Dragons have the ability to be the old school smash mouth, run it down your throat, make you like it type of team, but then they can turn around and just throw it on you all day long.
Well, you got Z catching the ball. It's not
hard
hard either.
Yeah. And so I think and then it's just going to be a matter of, can their defense, slow people down? Can they, and then, or can they be nominating? You know what I mean? It just kind of depends on the week. And I think this week is going to be their biggest test until probably the rest of the month. As long as they got to travel a lot. That after this week, it's 2 straight trips to Laredo and stuff like that. And so, and then a bye week before they get to open up at home. So, so it'll be interesting. AJ had his first varsity start at quarterback.
Yeah, great job,
stuff
man.
like that. And so,
that kid.
Yeah, the kid's awesome. And so, looking forward to continuing to see his growth in that and stuff. I think he dropped one just amazing shot right in the bucket for a touchdown to Tyson. And then, but I think if you asked AJ, he missed a couple as well. So looking forward to that. And then now you go to Legacy on the other hand, and I think Coach Bruce will tell you the same thing. It's sloppy, lots of penalties, things like that.
Young squad too.
And a young squad. And so I think the major improvements need to be made in just the passing game, execution wise, things like that. But man, James Ross is legit. Yeah, and
what
so,
a hurdle! For
yeah,
that touchdown.
and that's all people. He's like, man, I don't want to talk about that anymore and stuff the other day. And so, but
when I talked to them, when we go do our Beyond the Archers, the first thing I'm gonna ask him, hey, what's going? What made you?
So great.
How much NCAA you played that you did this?
Right. They did a great job just sticking to it. You know what I mean? Like on Friday night, it was like we're going to win. It's just a matter of us just like grinding. Yeah. And it was a good grind out victory of just keep with it, do what we do, make it happen. You know what I mean? Things like that. And they did a great job of that. Defense stepped up, stopped. They had to play physical because Jeff was trying to play a physical game with them. And they stepped up. I mean, they only had like 130 yards of offense.
And Jeff's no slouch either. Like, let's not talk about like as if Jeff is just nobody. I mean, they in the past they've also had really good squads too. And so I think this was a good test that a lot of people were looking at as almost a coin flip that Legacy was able to kind of come out and dominate on the ground.
Yeah, I think that Legacy has a good. They'll probably be favorites on Friday against Lee at Comalander. That game starts at 7 at Comalander. But I think that Lee. It's 1-1 in that series, and I think that the Titans will probably, just understanding and talking to other coaches, I think that the Titans will be able, Lee's big up front to a certain degree, but I think that it'll be a lot of what we've seen in the past, and that I think that they'll be able to run over them. It'll be a matter of can we step up now? Can the quarterback? Okay, you got your first one. Now let's see what we can do. Yeah. And let's see what we can do and keep growing there. And I mean, I believe that if the Dragons and the Titans can both win, then you're looking at a very odds on favorite to be 3-4-0 going over the course of the early month of the season and stuff. So that'll be interesting.
Fire Armor could be interesting.
Fire
October
Armor
18th.
could get very interesting on October 18th.
Seems like it always ends up like that, though. A lot of
Yeah.
times it does end up really, really interesting like that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think that Legacy will get tested a little bit earlier because they're gonna get they'll get Jay, and Jay's gonna be an interesting game as well. But they'll get Jay on the 19th, and so at Gus on a Thursday. So that'll be
That's tough.
interesting. That'll be a tough game. But if they can compete and get after it there and get a dub, then it'll really make for some interesting times at Fire and Armor and stuff. So,
Well, man, we look forward to it.
yeah,
We look forward to it.
Big games. I'm excited about the Titans and the Dragons and all of them. Great job by all the coaches. And I think I want to end it like this. Big shout out to our Titan and Dragon Warriors of the week.
Yes.
Our Titan Warrior of the week was Daniel Martinez, football player, cornerback at a junior at Legacy, and then our Dragon Warrior of the week was Dorian Moxley,
Nice.
outside linebacker, tailback for the Dragons, and so excited about that. And I want to give a shout out to Shannon Bendeley too, the first one to turn in a book report for the Warriors.
Let's go.
Talking about the habits and the values and how they see them in the books they read and stuff like that. So keep those, and got another one coming from Hunter Douglas here pretty soon. So keep those book reports coming, keep those things going, and keep working towards building your character and inner coach.
That's right. That's right. We here at Southwest ISD, we don't just build just athletes. We students first, man. And it's incredible to see that Warrior program.
Well, you become a better athlete by growing your mind and growing the way you speak to yourself. Do you do
Absolutely.
it positively and with respect? Because if you respect yourself, you can respect others.
And you also become a better podcast by growing the brand. So make sure you
Let's
continue
go.
to share, post everywhere. We are available all over the place. Make sure you push us all over your social media. We'll be pushing this podcast out today on Thursday, September 5th. So we look forward to seeing all of you sharing, listening, subscribing. And if you hear a student's name, and maybe they're a cousin, a friend, a nephew, a son, a daughter, whatever the case, make sure you let them know that they're going to shout out here on the podcast, and they can, go into the next game with some good
Hey,
confidence.
speaking of shout out to the video crew for the first football game with the video boards and the replays and things like that. So shout out to them, the kids who are learning and getting ready to run that thing. So through CTE, shout out to Joe Vega and his group. Great job by everybody. So appreciate you guys as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in for another Scoreboard. I'm Brandon Medina. That's Peter Wagner. And as always, we are
Southwest.